So Jayden Maiava started in a few games for USC last season after Lincoln Riley decided to bench Miller Moss, and then Miller Moss entered the transfer portal. Jayden Maiava stepped up to the table, and he went 2-1 as a starter. He played against Nebraska, won 28-20, threw a pick six, but also had some amazing throws that only I think he or some other really fantastic players could make. He played against UCLA, respectable, wasn't awesome, but helped his team to victory, 19-13. And then against Notre Dame, 2 pick sixes. So in 3 of his starts, he threw 3 pick sixes overall, but he also threw for a plethora of touchdowns, was really carving up that Notre Dame secondary right until that fourth quarter when they finally figured him out a bit. And I don't even know if it was that. I think part of it was Notre Dame was ahead for the whole game, and then USC would catch up, and then Notre Dame would pull ahead. And when you have that cat and mouse game of the, mouse pulls away and the cat catches up, but then immediately when he catches up, the mouse pulls away again, and you're timed, you get to feel that pressure at the end if you're the cat where I actually have to catch him now and hold on to him and then kill him. And if I don't in this time frame, then I fold. And Notre Dame was a very mentally tough team last year. USC was not, as we can probably see from all the meltdowns they had. Not saying they weren't tough. They didn't have aspects of mental toughness, but they were not tough in the way that USC should expect, in the way that they should have been. So when I look at Jayden Maiava, I ask myself, well, how can he be Lincoln Riley's next NFL quarterback? Because that's going to be the secret sauce that gets Riley and USC to figure out offense again. Because last year the offense was a mess by Riley standards. Before we resume this segment, please take a few seconds of your time to make sure you have liked the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for the channel and for any team podcasts and playlists linked in the description, and also comment your thoughts down below in the comment section and join my Discord server via the description. All of those things I just asked you to do are completely free, and they sign you up for things related to my channel, or they don't sign you up for anything. No cost to you, and all the benefit to you because we release daily college football content here on College Football with Sam. If you want to support the channel monetarily, sign up for a YouTube membership, or check any other links in the description for my merchandise store and Patreon page. Thank you very much, and let's get back to the segment. Well, what you do is you maximize his upside, and more importantly than that, you limit the turnovers. So if you can't limit the turnovers, you then simplify the playbook. You minimize his weak spots, things that are hard for him. You maximize what's easy. Sounds pretty simple. It sounds pretty intuitive, but that's not what everyone does. There are definitely coaches and there are definitely coordinators who force things down their players that their players aren't capable of. I mean, look at now Washington defensive coordinator Ryan Walters. Like, he did that to his defense. He didn't adapt to them. He kind of shoved things down their throat, and it resulted in producing awful defenses and him getting fired. I feel like Riley did that a bit last year with Miller Moss, and probably to a certain degree Jayden Maiava too, where it was USC and Penn State that had the best rushing attacks in the Big Ten by a mile. Neither of them at Ohio State's rushing offense overall in terms of peak potential, because Henderson and Judkins were that good, but they had a better overall ground attack because their offensive lines were more stable and they were better. However, Penn State, who really took advantage of their ground game under Kotelnicki and tried to use that as much as they could, and I think Kotelnicki did a good job last year, there were a lot of instances of Riley steering away from that, which is interesting given that his offenses are the best when they can run the ball really well. Now, maybe Woody Marks compensated for the rushing offense and offensive line a bit. He was a tackle buster. He trucked through defenders constantly last year. He made a play that was similar to the play that I think it was Maurice Clarett made in the 2002 national title game, where Craig Krenzel threw an interception to Miami, and then Clarett goes up to the DB who's running back and then grabs the ball and says, no, this is my ball. And he just wrestles it out and gives Ohio State another chance, and that was a play that helped them win that national title game where they went 14-0 and had a really phenomenal, really awesome season under Jim Tressel in Ohio State. Woody Marks was that type of player. He had all the energy. He had everything that you wanted. The energy, the athleticism, the fight, the passion, the heart, the mind. Just wonderful. It's going to be harder to replace him as a starter than some outside observers might think. And it felt like at times that maybe him and Joyner and Jackson weren't utilized a lot. That's, again, just my perspective. So that is how Maiava, if he doesn't improve, could be minimized. However, his upside is clear. I mean, against Notre Dame and Nebraska, he threw some passes with wonderful touch. I mean, there was this one play where this Nebraska defender, it looked like he was going to pick it off, and he jumped. I think he timed the jump pretty well, but the throw was just high enough with just good enough touch and ball placement to where, I forget if it was Jacoby Lane or Hudson or who it was. It's one of their possession receivers. I think it was Jacoby Lane, catches it in the end zone. There was another play where he was able to hit Deuce Robinson, and it was a really nice pass and then a really nice catch by Robinson, now a Florida State wide receiver. And against Notre Dame, he was balling out until that fourth quarter and flinging it all across the field. Like, the upside is clear. And what helps is that Notre Dame as a game, and that's probably going to be, outside of Oregon and maybe Michigan, the hardest game. But it's also a rivalry game, and I'd say it's an important game too. I mean, if USC wants to get into the playoffs, they're going to have to win 10 games with this schedule. And winning a big non-conference game like that would help a ton. And it's a revenge spot. It's a momentum spot. I think that could be a program-changing game for USC here. The good news is that game isn't until Week 8. Michigan isn't until Week 7. And Oregon, we shouldn't even be talking about the Oregon game right now, outside of, projecting for fun what that could look like. But in all seriousness, that shouldn't be the focus. And Michigan and Notre Dame are far away enough to where they don't have to be. There's no LSU to kick off the year. This is very much like a 2023 schedule where you get 3 and probably 4 games, because I don't think Michigan State's going to be top 25. I think they're going to punch above their weight class, and at times people will consider them a top 25 team, but in power ratings, I don't believe they will. Until maybe Illinois in Week 5, and I don't even think Illinois is going to be a top 25 power rated team. You are going to get opponents that are very beatable, that should not be able to beat you if you play to your ceiling. If USC plays to its ceiling or starts off hot, they should be able to start off 5-0, entering the Week 6 bye. And at that point, you're talking about middle of October is the first time they're going to be facing a team that has more talent or size or athleticism than they do in Michigan. Then Notre Dame the following week, and then you get a bye after that. Like, this schedule, I think, doesn't just align nicely with USC and their goal of, at this point, I'd say winning as many games as possible. You have to win now. It's not quite as urgent as some other teams, but you can't go 6-6 again. Just building momentum, that's what you need. That's why they're being so aggressive in recruiting and getting not just high-quality guys, but getting a lot of bodies in recruiting. That's why they're making headlines, making noise, and being as confident as they can possibly be. They want to build momentum and belief quickly, because if they don't, then this thing can go sideways very quickly. And how do you do that for a quarterback? Well, you start small, and you go from there. And Missouri State and Georgia Southern and Purdue are small. Michigan State and Illinois should be small compared to you. I say should because they have good enough players to where there's a world where those are challenging games, and it's not because USC's bad again. It's because those teams are both good. But the odds of both of them reaching that standpoint is improbable, to say the least. I think that Maiava has an excellent supporting cast, which should help his progression. And he also has started in several games, too. I mean, he played against UCLA and Notre Dame, who are USC's chief rivals, and against good defenses. Nebraska had a top 25 defense last year, Notre Dame had a top 10, top 5 defense. So that's very helpful. I mean, when you have Jacoby Lane, when you have Mekhi Lemon, Jacoby Lane caught more than 10 touchdowns last year. Mekhi Lemon is going to be a 1,000-yard receiver and I think an All-American this year. When you have an offensive line where, especially if DJ Wingfield is eligible, but I also think they've coached and developed at an okay to good level there, and you have the running backs you do with Waymon Jordan, Brian Jackson, and Eli Sanders, and all the tight ends come back, I like this offense. It should be a better offense than last year, and Maiava should play a big part in that. Last but not least, he fits the mold of a Lincoln Riley quarterback better than Miller Moss did. 101 of 169 last year, completed about 60% of his throws, 1,201 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, 6 picks, averaged 7.1 yards per attempt, and his QBR was in the 70s. He was thrown into the fire a little bit, and he came out alive. And that speaks to something. I mean, Miller Moss started off the year with, I would say honestly, an easier slate. There wasn't as much pressure. There wasn't as much negativity. There was more optimism. Got to play in some of the easier games. And as the year went on, he slowly but surely wore down. Now I know he played in triple the amount of games that Maiava did. But Maiava went through the fire, and he survived. And he fits the mold of a Riley quarterback more, where most Riley quarterbacks, if not all of them, in his history, have been more mobile than Miller Moss. So that, I think, says something. The fact that Riley got him in the portal entering 2024 says something, too, where he saw a flash, he saw talent there, and I think they're going to take advantage of it. I think he's going to take a step forward this year. I think he will start the year off as one of the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten. Now, long-term, with how talented the Big Ten quarterbacks are, and the fact that, look, Maiava's he's probably not as talented as Julian Sayin, Dante Moore, Dylan Raiola, Bryce Underwood, and Drew Aller. So long-term, he might fall outside of that top third or top 5 Big Ten quarterbacks. But I think to start the year, he will be up there. And he will be a top 20, top 15 quarterback this season. The Big Ten is a strong quarterback conference in 2025. And unlike last year, where I think they disappointed at the quarterback position, I think USC is going to impress college football with its quarterback play for this fall. Thank you for watching College Football with Sam. Make sure that you've liked the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for the channel and team playlists and podcasts in the description. Join the free Discord server where we talk college football 24/7, and have commented your thoughts down below. Check out the description for any ways you can support the channel monetarily. Everything else I've asked you to do is completely free, and your support means the world to me. We're trying to become the next big thing on college football YouTube. 6-figure subscribers, maybe 1 million one day. I think we can do that. And also check out any videos or playlists, anything in these columns right here, where there will be videos and playlists. Yeah, you get the point. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.